Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Arid Redux, and I finally got my dad to do the home theater tour 7.2.6. This took a while. He doesn't do things immediately. He's a really busy guy and doesn't have time to mess around with making videos for free. So yeah, sorry this took so long. For those who were complaining that you couldn't see anything during the last one, I have hopefully fixed that. I have a brand new camcorder. The other video was in 4K 60. This one's going to be in 4K 30. As I want to record at 4K, because I want to do that, it's only going to be 30 FPS because this camcorder cannot film in 60 FPS at 4K. It can only do 1080p at 60 FPS, which is still good enough, but I like being better. So yes, sorry this took so long. Let's get to the video.
Welcome to our home theater. This is the greater lighted version of the tour, whereas last time we just used ambient lighting and nobody could see anything. So we're going to go over the room again. As you can see behind me, we have the screen, which is measured in feet rather than in inches, as most screens these days are measured. That said, I'm not really sure how big it is, but it's a standard 16 by 9. It's not anamorphic. It's not 21 by 9 or anything like that. And that's basically because we can't actually fit anything wider in this room. The room was completely designed to be accommodating of a large screen. It was designed with one of the three perfect ratios of width, depth, and height in order to minimize standing waves, which the audio people really appreciate. And it has two tiers of seats, 4 in the back and 4 in the front. And for the people who get to see in the front, the 4 recliners are motorized, and people who sit in the cheap seats in the back have manual recliners. However, they all have USB ports on them, so you can bring a device down and have it charge or not run out of power. And then right down in the very center, you will see that there's an electrical outlet plus a USB extender, which runs through the back wall into the office, which we'll get to later, that we can connect the Xbox to, and then we can connect a wired controller in here. Now, we only did that in case there were problems with wireless in here, because it's a completely sealed room and we wanted to make sure that we had a good connection with the controller. Also up here in front, you have your front left and front right main channels and a center channel here. These are Golden Ear Triton reference speakers. You also see my new subwoofers. These are the top of the line SVS subwoofers, the PB3000. They're very nice. They do have displays on them, but they're very bright displays. And with my phone app, I can turn them off, and they're off right now because otherwise they're very bright in the dark room. As you can see, there are no windows in this room. The only caveat to that statement is the window that shines the projected image through from the other room. But this room is completely isolated. We have acoustic treatments on the wall. I had a company down in Carlsbad to do the examination of the room and designed not only the diffusers and absorbers on the sidewalls, the ones in the back, and the ones in the ceiling that you can barely see because of the downlights. Now, what we have right now are all of the lights on in the theater. You have the torchieres on the side, which we normally only use when entering or exiting the theater, but we also have the floodlights across the top, which we use when we have to come in and vacuum because there's popcorn everywhere and we need to pick it up. So in addition to the LCR speakers in the front, we have a pair of side surround speakers. We've also got a pair of rear speakers that you can barely see in the back corners of the room. So this bottom level is a full 7.2 system. It is also an Atmos system, so there are 3 pairs in the ceiling: the front height speakers, the center height speakers, and the rear height speakers. So all in all, it's described as a 7.2.6 speaker system, which is a total of 15 channels. So, moving around in the room, you can see what the chairs look like from the front, which we pretty much never do. And what you see behind me now, as we mentioned before, is the projector in the other room through the little window. So again, there's a glass pane in there. It's in there at an angle, so you don't get reflections that go back and forth between the projector and the glass. We do have, back here behind these are the original subwoofers that I built that need 2,000 watt amps in order to get their 18-inch woofers to operate very, very loudly. They're designed to go down to about 13 hertz. And that's what causes most earthquakes in California. There's a temperature control there. Unfortunately, it doesn't come in black. But this room has its own air conditioning system behind here. It's one of the Mitsubishi City single room systems. In the center is an intake, and then there's 2 outtakes over here on either side of that. And so it's very, very, very quiet. If you've been in a room, in a modern hotel room that has either these JVCs or these Mitsubishi or the LG single room air conditioners, they're very quiet. When they turn on, they sound like someone is spraying a bottle. It just goes and then just blows cold air into the room. It's very neat. We have that all downstairs in the house, and then upstairs, which is, let's say, 50% bigger, we have a full, single story system. So what we also have in the back here is the only entry in and out of the room. It's a door with a magnetic lock on there because we found with the strength of the speakers, if it gets really loud, then it's pumping a lot of air in and out and moving the air. And on occasion, the door, without any locking mechanism, would actually open and close. And we want to make sure that there's a positive closing in here. So what we did is we designed a magnetic closing system. There's a metal plate up here, magnets, neodymium magnets over here, and you actually get a little click when it's actually all the way closed, like that. And then back here are the lighting controls, which we are in the process of automating. There are supposed to be some marquee lightings underneath this platform here, which are not enabled, but they are currently installed. And they are RGB lighting, so when we get the controller programmed, we'll be able to get mood lighting in here. When you're actually watching a movie, like in a regular theater, those lights will stay on, but they will be very low in intensity. And so, as I said, the floodlights are on. I will turn those off now, and you'll see what the theater normally looks like when you come in and exit the movie. And then what actually happens when you start the movie is all the lights go off.